My, how far we've come. Just took these out to charge them. This is the original Gen 1. Funny, isn't it? Got a lot to show you out in the shop, so stay tuned. What's up, gang? Isn't that funny how small that iPhone was? First gen. Let's do the updates first. Yeah. We'll do updates on the jobs that are here. After the updates on the jobs that are here, got some other updates for you. It is Thursday. Supposedly the day after the mill was supposed to get here. So what happened? Hang on, I'll just have to show you. Alright. Jobs never stop coming in. That's number one. You can see my brush piles here. I have got my something smells really sweet out here. Anyway, got to put the blade on the old Squire and get the burn pile burned up. We've got old blue sitting here. I wonder what that is. It smells so you know what? Ouch. I bet I'm smelling honey. They must be processing the honey. Yeah, boy. Okay. Stay focused, Zippo. Stay focused. Oil. Oil filter. Air filter. So what are those for? Those are for the Honda Rancher ES. We've got this big white behemoth out here. Well, what's that all about? Boy, that sweet smell. I would really like to know what that is. That smells so good. It is out here because it has an electrical gremlin akin to the one that Clifford had, if y'all remember that. I had to pull the relays for the power door locks because it was randomly locking and unlocking the doors. Also, the gas gauge was being glitchy. It'd show empty, it'd bounce up to full, it'd show empty, and just going back and forth. So that tells me sort of a ground fault issue. Then the AC heater controls stopped working. He hit a bump, they started working again. Again, tells me there's a ground issue somewhere. So that's something we're going to pay attention to. That is, this is Smitty's van, and he loves his van. This was running and then was tooling along and then just stopped running. So the issue is unknown. I can only assume it is fuel related. It's a Rancher ES. ES stands for electronic shift, which is pretty cool. You want to shift up, you push up. You want to shift down, you push down. That's pretty awesome if you ask me. This is going to be going up for sale, by the way. This belongs to my buddy Larry. How many speeds do we have here? We have 5 speeds, reverse and 5 speeds, with the addition of the electronic shift program. So we're going to do some servicing here. We've even got a 12-volt accessory outlet there too. Pretty nice. Obviously it was used for hunting. There have been numerous deer strapped to the back of that. But we'll get to these two in a little bit, because the other update that we've got is in the shop. And I'm going to pause the camera for just a minute so that I can reflect. So hang on. Okay, well, let's just start here. Batteries. That's a battery out of Trader. Doug left me a comment. I'm not really sure I understand it, so I might just have to give him a call and see what he's talking about. This would be the battery that I had to put in Zipper, and been riding the tar out of Zipper. Everything's golden with it, charging, doing everything it's supposed to do. There's another battery. That battery goes to the wheel horse, which is stuck over here. So we've got to get the wheel horse fixed, as well as the Honda four-wheeler and Smitty's van. And we've got a couple of tools out, and I probably should have put up. Alright, I'll quit procrastinating. So, I have this grinding wheel. That's a big grinding wheel. What would that grinding wheel be for? Well, then I've got this box of stuff here. What would that be for? Then I've got all of this. And unfortunately, I mean, they look great. Oh, they got rusty. So I've got my work cut out to get all the rust cleaned up. Look at all these teeny tiny little collets, though. So I've got to get all this stuff cleaned up here and hopefully get it serviceable again. And what's this? Well, it's a flatbed with an X and Y. And you guys know what that is. It's a valve lapper, right? And you guys can probably see right there. Yes, I'm now the proud owner, very proud owner, of a valve grinder, which also includes a boatload of stones and everything that I would need to take care of facing, surfacing, regrinding valves for these engines. What else do we have? Oh, what's that weird looking thing? Well, that's strange looking, isn't it? Huh? You know what that is? Anybody out there know what that is? I'm not going to say right now what that is. I'm going to leave it up to you machinists. You will know what that is. So leave it in the comments what you think. I'll give you as good a view as I can of the whole thing here. See, here's the bottom. It's got a little dovetail mounting point. And this all goes with that. There's the mounting plate. So what do you think that is? You guys in the comments, leave a comment. That's an empty toolbox. That's what all of these micro collets were in. We've got a bunch more bits. There's just a whole bunch of, you know, there's some part of the lapper. There's more lapper parts in there. All different kinds of keepers for valves. There's valve seals. I don't even know what's in that little jar. Looks like it might be lapping compound, so I'll just leave that closed and sealed. But what do we have here? Plymouth Dodge Chrysler. Because here's one Craftsman valve. It says Craftsman valve for all. It's probably a valve compression tool, but just all kinds of goodies in here. Really excited about getting this Van Doren valve resurfacer. It's going to make my life a whole lot easier when it comes to valves. But sometimes you need to take care of the valve seats as well, right? Right? Well, let's see what's in this box. Oh my goodness. Will you look at that? Can you see that? How is that for a set of valve cutters? I don't know what's in the McDonald's bag here. Let me take a look. Well, how about that? You reckon if I ever need any valve seals or valve seats, I might be able to find them. Then here's another what's it. I do not know what that is. I'm sure that at some point in time I will find out, but if any of you know, please leave it in the comments. There's a lot of things here that I do not know what they are. And then here's a smaller version of the same thing right here. So you guys tell me, what is that? Alright. Then we have this monster. Looks like a homemade tool of some sort, and I do not know what that is. I mean, it's got a bit in it, and there are other bits in here at different diameters. So you guys tell me what those are for, because I do not know, okay? I mean, you know, I assume that goes there. So tell me, what is that for? Bill did a lot of engine rebuilding, so I can only assume a lot of these are I mean, this may be what's used for cutting the valves. I don't know. I'm not sure. But let me know. But there's lots of stuff in here that's Greek to me, that was not in my history of machining. So if you guys do know, please, please, please do tell me. There's a set of feeler gauges. Alright, let's set this stuff aside. We have another toolbox here, and it's blocked by this workbench, but we'll get to that toolbox another time. It's got a bunch of stones for this. And here's the wet well also for the valve grinder, and there's also a pump, and the pump is back here. Here's the pump. So, yeehaw. Okay, so what else do we have? Well, it may have already shown up in the picture. There is the mill. Oh, it finally made it in. We had a really fun time getting it in there, but I wanted to show you the ingenuity that Bill had. He took a Tyco train power pack and a power window motor and made a power feed. It has a rheostat as well as forward and reverse control. How neat is that? It is a Enco vise. I'll have to look the vise up, and I'll have to make sure it's true and square, obviously. And we also have an Align brand carriage feed with forward and reverse, power on and off, and adjustable speed rheostat. This here, I'm not sure what that button is. I'm pretty sure I've got the book on this, so I'll need to check it out and see what that is. But this also comes down and around and creates stop points. There's a stop point on either side. They're spring loaded, so as soon as you get to the end of your travel, it'll stop it. But there's the mill. What is it? It is a Rongfu. The model, it's all covered up. I believe it's 80,000 D as in dog. And we already know that we have the I'll get it, the variable frequency drive for it, but we also have what came with it, the rotary phase converter. Now, the mill is not in the spot that I want it. It needs to go back that way about 8 inches. Once it gets back where it needs to be, then I'll be happy. We just didn't set it exactly in place, and we were running out of time yesterday. Also, all kinds of just miscellaneous, weird, strange, and random items just to get the walls cleared out. Here's a little Steiny bottle, if you guys beer drinkers, Steiny bottle capper. I believe. Larry and I, neither one could figure out what that was. It does have some numbers stamped into it. It has a purpose. We just don't know what that purpose is. A large and small pipe bender, homemade Allen wrenches, a water filter purifier, and I don't know what's in this toolbox either. Let's see what's in here. More pipe fittings, all kinds of pipe fittings. There's even some A&N fittings in there. As far as pipe fittings go, we come over here. This is all a bunch of pipe fittings as well. And what I thought to be a paper towel holder is not a paper towel holder. But this is the same color as that piece there. So maybe these go together, and if anybody knows, please feel free to holler out. Tell me what those are. This was the handle, the leather handle to the toolbox that's underneath the workbench there. A bunch more fittings and a random plastic handle, which I think was for a hose reel. But bunch of copper fittings, bunch of brass fittings, bunch of PVC fittings, and a bunch more copper. But all of that was also cleaned out of the garage. Miss Barbara just wanted everything cleaned out to the walls, so that's what Larry and I did. We cleaned absolutely everything out to the walls. Now we can open this drawer. It's empty. Everything that was in this drawer, I believe, is sitting up here. This drawer still has stuff in it. We have more taps, and we have some homemade clutch alignment tools, which are kind of neat. We have a handle. That is a really fine finishing stone, I believe, for the valve grinder. Various grades of emery paper. Is that going to move? Yes, it's going to move. And these are all carbide inserts, and not sure what they are for. But if anybody recognizes that shape and knows what those are for, put it in the comments. A lot of things that I'm not real sure of. This is full of a bunch more Allen wrenches, and this bag is full of a bunch more Allen wrenches. And then we have some, these were made by Bill, and I am not real sure what they are, to tell you the truth. It probably has something to do with model airplanes. And a bunch of masonry bits and some, and a really big chuck key. It's a Jacobs chuck number 4 series. That's a monster. So what else? Well, you guys can see right here. That's a really odd looking hacksaw blade, isn't it? Well, it's not just an odd looking hacksaw blade. It is a hacksaw blade for the power hacksaw. I know it's dark. And I found a pile more. There's another 5 blades there. So how about that? Isn't that cool? Alright, what else? Well, just a pair of knee pads. Can never have too many knee pads. Here's the face to the circuit breaker box that's going to be mounted with the variable frequency drive. And Tim, when I come to the Portland show, I'll do my best to remember to bring this box to you. I do have a box right down there that this came off of that I'm going to use as my circuit breaker. So I'll show you guys here real quick. There's my circuit breaker, and then here, oops, is my phase converter. So like I say, the phase converter is not going to be used. The variable frequency drive is going to be. Once I get this mounted up in place, my controls are probably going to be over here on the left side. I'm really psyched. I am really psyched. I've got to go through and get everything cleaned up, squared up, align the or get the gibs adjusted, just to make sure this thing's going to be dead on when we finally put it to use. And I've also got to run a dedicated 110 line to the variable frequency drive so that I can then power the mill. And it is a 3-phase 1 horsepower. I don't know how well we're going to be able to see the label here. Hopefully well enough. As you guys can see there, 1720 RPM. It is a high and low with 3 ranges, so a total of 6 speeds. It will be left in first. I'll have to rotate the head to get it to go into low. It'll be in first, low, for the most part, and I'll let the variable frequency drive do the work of speeding up and slowing down the speed of the chuck accordingly. Let me grab a tape measure and we will take a look and see just how long that bed is. I'm pretty sure it's just a 24-inch bed. I'm sorry, I'm having to do this one-handed. Yeah, roughly a 24-inch bed. So there we have it. there is the mill. It finally arrived. I wasn't pulling anybody's leg. It was a reality. It was just a matter of getting it here. And we finally got it here. So let me know what you guys think of Zippo's haul, including all the weird and unusual and goofy stuff. I've even got a valve, and I am pretty certain that's an air valve because it has an air filter right there. So, and then a bunch more pipe fittings from, you know, pipe fittings for miles. And then the old square D pressure switch too. Now, on the bummer side, like I told you that, you know, I had a Sunday the 13th, or Sunday the 15th rather. It didn't stop there. I thought it had, but no. I came out and plugged in my air compressor, started my air compressor up. This tank has a hole in it, so that's got to go bye-bye. I'm going to get an actual air compressor tank with a drain valve and cut off and remount onto a new air tank. But I'm not without air. I still have this 26 gallon here. Noisy sucker, but it gets the job done. And you guys might also see I have a nice big decimal equivalent and tap drill size chart here by the Standard Tool Company that came off of the wall at Barb Turner's. And what else is going on? Oh, well, I don't know if you guys saw it, but here's a couple of pipe taps, really small, a 1/4 inch and an 1/8 inch, itty bitty. And then over here, buried, is a 3-position pipe tap with quite long handles. So that was kind of neat to have. And this right here is a rather large ratcheting, actually has a crank handle, valve spring tool. And I'm not sure what this was made for. Maybe also for that and for having a spot to put the keepers in. But that is something else that Mr. Turner made. He was just so... I would have loved to have met the man in person. I really would have. Just a series of air tools, and I thought this was kind of neat. You guys have seen these. This will help you take your valve stem out, rethread your inner threads for a valve stem, or rethread your outer threads for a valve stem with thread chasers. But it's got this little knurled knob attached to a chain on it. You know what that's for? Any idea? Well, after you screw this on to a new valve, you can grab that chain, pull that chain to get your valve stem pulled into place. So I thought that was kind of neat. And a really old Goodyear tire depth gauge. I see right there. See it pop out. Tire depth gauge. Good, fair, bad. Pretty neat, isn't it? Thought that was really, really nifty. So, alright, I have been babbling on now for almost 20 minutes, plus I've got the first part of the video to put in there. So, there you have it. That is what's going on. The shop has undergone changes. There's still more changes to go because all this stuff is sitting out on the floor. When I get things a little more organized, we'll go over things a little bit better. But please, if you know, now I already know what that is, but if you know what we have here and the purpose of these, I don't know if they're wheel cylinder, I don't know if they're for rebuilding wheel cylinders or what they're for. So if you know, please let me know. This has been whacked on with a hammer quite a few times. But I need to know. I'm not in the know about what's going on here. So let me know. I do know that these are valve cutters, but there we are. Zippo's, as the saying goes, crapping in high cotton, only usually you don't use the word crap. Alright, that's it. Friendly neighborhood Zippo. Zippo. Zippio. If you guys like the update, and you like the new mill, and you think that the shop is just really coming around and turning into an awesome place to rebuild engines, give me a huge thumbs up, and I will see you on the next one. Later. I'm out of here. Alright, I have got to show you guys Bill's invention in action here, okay? There's the Tyco Train Power Pack. It's attached to the feed. I've got it on forward, which means it'll go down. So watch. I'm going to ramp this up. You can watch right there. That is as fast as it goes, and you can wind it all the way down to where it's just really, really creeping. And of course shut it off, and then when you're done you can back it back off. How cool is that? And power table feed. Get that unplugged. Let's get over here to the power table feed. I'm having to do this kind of two-handed, sort of one-handed. Okay, now we have power on, and our rheostat, I'll set it to 0. I want it to go that way, so here's power feed. Now if I want it to move over really quick, that's up against the stop now. So go in reverse, and I can increase the speed here. Or if I want it to go really slow, and I get past my work, I can just advance it to move it a lot quicker just by pushing the button. Isn't that cool? Just thought I'd add that. What an ingenious man to create that. That's just fantastic. I'm loving it. Alright,